Today, I'm taking you with me to Lambertville, New Jersey, and New Hope, Pennsylvania. They are known for being called twin towns or sister cities. Now, they are directly across each other from the Delaware River. I heard they are having a vintage market, so we want to check that out. And they also have other vintage stores around the area. So I'm super excited to see what we can find today. I'm looking for great quality items. I'm looking for items that have a higher standard than the items that I currently have so we can replace those items. And I'm just overall excited. So if you're struggling with a closet full of clothes and you have absolutely nothing to wear, my name is Tracy. I'm your closet curator. I'm here to help you create and organize a wardrobe that would enhance your self-confidence. Okay, so we are headed to the New Hope Vintage Clothing Market. Apparently, this is their second year doing this. I just found the advertisement on Instagram and I said, hey, it might be worth the trip. So as soon as I walk into the venue, I am like, is this it? I was a little disappointed because when I think of market, I'm thinking of something just huge, right? But it wasn't that big, so I decided to go ahead and take a look at all the things. So as soon as you walk up the steps, there is just this one room full of different racks of both men and women's clothing. Tons of coats, tons of sweaters, so I decided to dig in. First up was this leather jacket. I really liked it. It was in great condition. I just didn't need a leather jacket, and my husband didn't really like that one. He's going to like another one a little later, so we passed that up. This was a Brooks Brothers vintage trench coat. If you ever need a trench coat, I would always recommend going to a vintage market and or a thrift store to find it because you can find some great quality ones for great prices. Here is a Yves Saint Laurent vintage blazer, only $60. Only $60. This was also in great condition, but I have several navy blazers and they're pretty much the same standard of that one, so I didn't really need that one. Again, a leather jacket for only $60. Jean jackets. You always want to find a good jean jacket, but look, here is a vintage full leather vest, LL Beam. Now, what I like about this vest is that it's leather in the front and the back. Normally, at times, there's only leather in the front and then material in the back, so I could appreciate that. So I'm going to try that on. And I also found this vintage Ralph Lauren button-down shirt. I asked my husband did he like it, and he didn't really like it that much, so he passed on that. But I do appreciate the patches on the shirt. I think that was kind of cool. All right, another Ralph Lauren piece, 100% cotton, $60 for a sweater. You know, those sweaters go for $300 at times. I really like this sweater. But then I looked at that label and it's 100% acrylic, so I had to pass on that one. This vest is pretty cool, 100% wool for only $25. I was thinking about that for my husband, but he has one that color. So far so good. Oh, my husband brought over this Christian Dior button down shirt, $20. Look at the pocket where the little Dior sign is there. I loved it. Why is this shirt polyester? So that had to stay because we're not doing that. So then I got excited when I seen the Dior shirt. So I said, let me look at the button downs to see if there's anything else. This was a rack full of vintage Ralph Lauren.
some other designers, but most of this rack was Ralph Lauren. Good prices, $25 for a polo. I think $30 for some other button downs. But overall, if you are a Ralph Lauren lover, this particular vintage market thus far is definitely for you. See, look at this, $25 for that striped button down. And then there's another one that I like. Here it is. This one is $25 as well. Great condition, cotton button downs. All right, I love this fur hat. I don't know who made this hat, but this hat does not fit on nobody's head. I tried this hat on. First of all, it's 100% fur for $45. So of course, you know, that intrigued me. But I think that's for a baby because it was not fitting on me, my son, or my husband's head. So that's that. Appreciate that cheetah blazer, but I don't like zip blazers, so I passed on that. Most of the items were very good quality, I want to say, like cotton. Here comes my husband again. He found these Gucci, they're like gym shorts. They was $215, I believe. Yeah, $215. I just can't get past the whole gym short thing. Like, I don't know how you would wear those. So, and $215 was a little bit too much because I can go to the Gucci outlet maybe and find something for that price. All right, this blazer was really nice. Wool blazer, made in the USA. Love the silhouette. $30, but I don't need it. Remember what I'm doing in my wardrobe? I am not just buying things because it works. I'm buying things because I absolutely love it. Be careful when you are vintage shopping and buying wool sweaters. Do you see the hole? This one was damaged too. So here we have two wool sweaters that were damaged because of moths. 100% lamb's wool. I appreciate the fabric, but I'm not a sewer, so I can't fix those little holes, and I don't have time for that. So now here are some Kenzo khaki pants crop leg. I love these. We're gonna hold on to those and decide at the end if I'm going to get those. Love this as well. This was just a linen shirt. Great for the summer. Vintage. I love getting shirts like this because they're so diverse. You can roll up the sleeves and wear it different ways. Here was a Dickies jacket. Just several other sweaters. I do like this one, but I don't really like the red and the yellow, but I passed up on that as well. I love the silhouette of this blouse, but then when I checked that it was 100% polyester, I said no. $25. If that was silk, I would have said yes. That would have been an absolutely yes, but no, I had to pass on that. Now this top right here was silk, but I didn't like the flowers, so I passed on that one. Another wool blazer. You could find a good wool blazer, and their blazers were about $25 to $30. So not bad at all. And I want to say 50% of the sweaters, maybe 50% were wool. Okay, so they did have some good quality items, wool or cotton. So this one I believe was cotton. That was a vintage American Eagles vest. I appreciate the vintage American Eagles, Ralph Lauren, and those vintage Gap pieces. Here was a Burberry jacket. It was not that expensive. I don't like the color or the silhouette, but it was there. A nice leather, vintage Wilson leather jacket. That was $65. I think you can probably get it a little cheaper. But what they did do, they negotiate on their prices. So when it came for me to check out, I definitely negotiated on a few prices that, a few pieces that I picked out. If you are into vintage graphic tees, racks and racks, okay, $20 each. Those weren't horrible. Again, leather jackets, that one was $100. That could have been negotiated to probably $80. I believe this was the only wool coat that I seen. So that was okay. More leather. Harley Davidson, if that is what you're into. I love a good fringe on a leather jacket. That was decent. Let's check the price on that. That one was also $100. All right, so one more Burberry, $40. That was pretty cool. So since we're already out, we headed over to Ditto Vintage. Now this was about a 5-minute walk from the first spot. Very bright in the store. Everything seemed cleaned. I love how their brand was very pink, so they have the velvet pink hangers. I did not find much of anything here. In regards to the clothes themselves, they just seemed a little dated, although I feel like there's a difference between something being vintage and something being dated. So here, everything felt very much kind of dated. This coat was $225. It was sweet, but I think that was a little overpriced for what it was. Again, another cheetah piece, $100. No, I think that was a little overpriced as well. So yeah. So again, the store was very small. And one thing that I did find were these vintage Gap bootcut leather pants. Those were really cute. But that was it. So we decided to walk across the bridge to Lambertville. I love the views on this bridge. You literally can be in Pennsylvania and New Jersey at the same time. So we headed over to Green Street Consignment. Now, they have several locations throughout New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and I just love going here to see if you can find some great deals. Okay, so first we headed straight to their designer rack. There are several types of designers on this rack. You have from Anthropologie to Free People to Tory Burch. Now these prices are going to be a little higher because this is more of consignment. So people bring in their items and they want to sell them. The store will get a percentage and the person who is selling will get a percentage. So they normally don't go on deep discount unless they've been at the store for a very long time. So when we look at these prices will not be thrift store prices. So this was a cute theory dress. I love that. That was 100% cotton. Here is a Ghani dress for $60. Price for the brand itself wasn't horrible. All different types of dresses. They had formal dresses mixed in here. The green lace was pretty. Here's a Sandro dress. That I actually like that dress. It's something that I normally don't go for, the baby doll look, but I kind of liked it. It was $100. Now this shirt was really nice. It was a Vivienne Westwood pussy bow shirt. It was $67. I like the silhouette of the sleeves. I did not get that, but I'm having second thoughts about it. 100% cotton, somewhat a regret. I could have tried it on, but yeah, I didn't get that. Tory Burch blazer. Again, the prices are a little higher because of the fact that these are being consigned and not donated. So overall, their designer rack was decent. Now, when I checked out their designer bags, you had some Gucci, Louis Vuitton, several designers there. I always look at their bags and their shoes to see if there's anything that catches my eye. I go straight for the belts. I love a good belt, okay? This leopard one was really nice, 100% leather. And just here is the back of the store. These are all categorized. All your sweaters are with your sweaters, your jeans are with your jeans. Now, these are not considered quote-unquote designer items, but you could probably still find some great quality. Eileen Fisher is there. Okay, checking out the jeans. Now, some of these jeans are definitely designer as well. You have Joe's. There were not too many fast fashion jeans, but I did appreciate some of the designers. I love these statement jeans from Nasty Girl with the little fringe on the pockets. That's really cute. I'm not sure if I will wear them, but I think it's a cute pair of statement jeans to have. I can imagine that with like a button-up shirt and some black heels. I don't know. And they weren't expensive. $15. So I thought that was cute. There were a few other pair that I'm definitely familiar with the brand. They had a few new tags jeans. Overall, the jeans section was, I want to say, decent, and I want to say the prices were really good. This linen and cotton blend Gap blazer was nice. It was a little too big for me, so I left that. The price was about $25. It's a little overpriced, but a blazer might be worth it. I think this was my first Zara item that I've seen all day. And I'm thinking maybe the consignment store, they don't take many Zara items. I'm not really sure, but I haven't seen too many of them. So I went back over to the designer shoe wall and I overlooked these Givenchy black leather heels with this gold heel. Do y'all see that heel? That is so cute. They were $480. And I said, hey, let me just try these on just because. Now, don't mind my pale leg, but look at these. I think they're really cute. I did leave them behind, but I thought they were different. I thought about them a few times. But yeah, I left those behind, but I thought, yeah, those were cute.
We are back. So that was a lot of fun. And before I show you exactly what I purchased, I wanted to say that I found out that there is an official New Hope and Lambertville vintage clothing guide, right? And it just shows all of the vintage shops within that walking area. Now, this does not include Green Street because Green Street is not technically a vintage store, but you can just add Green Street to your to the list if you decide that you want to go on this little thrifting or vintage adventure, which I definitely recommend. If you got a few good, make this a whole day trip, right? Go there, park your car. You are going to have to pay for parking. Start maybe on one side, start in New Hope, wherever you're parking, start on that side and go to like 3 or 4 stores. Then go ahead and get lunch. There's several restaurants. And then go to the other side. And I think you would have a great time. All right. So that's that. Let me show you exactly what I purchased. Okay. First, my husband got this leather jacket. It says Adventures Bound, originals since 18, or is that 1999? Maybe that's 1899. But it's a leather jacket. Love the details. The sleeves detail. So this was really cute. This was actually on the mannequin when you first walk into the vintage market. And he just took it off, tried it on, and he loved it, right? So he got that. Now, I only got 2 things. No, actually 3. I got 3 things. First, let me tell you about those shoes at Green Street. Those are really nice. I did not get them, but I've been thinking about them. And another thing that I've been thinking about is that Saint Laurent blazer. Now, do I have a navy blazer that has the same type of silhouette? Absolutely. Are they both cotton? Yes. The one I have, I believe, might be J. Crew. But I should have got the Saint Laurent. I should have got it. For only $60, I should have got it. But I didn't, so I got to just move on, okay? So let me tell you what I did get. I bought those Kenzo khaki pants. Let me tell you why I'm disappointed. I cannot fit these. I cannot fit these. So in the store, they did have a dressing room. But I did this little trick. You know how they say you put your pants around your neck. Let me show you how I'm going to put these around my neck. If I could do it. I know my hair might be in the way. I got this turtleneck on, but look. I could fit this around my neck and I have room. Here we go. I could fit this around my neck and I have room, but don't mind that. Like, I really have a turtleneck on, but I really can fit this around my neck with wiggle room. These pants are not going up my hips. They did have a dressing room, but I was just so confident in this whole put the pants around your neck trick that I didn't even go in there and try them on. I can't fit them. I can't fit them. 100% cotton. I thought these would be nice for the summer. Cropped leg. Once I get them over my hips, after a long struggle, I can't even, I can't fit them. So I'm disappointed. Now, they were $60, but I negotiated and I think I got them for like $50. But it don't matter because I can't fit them. I did like this belt. I keep dropping the bracelet. Let me just show you the bracelet since the bracelet keep wanting to fall. This is a real wood bracelet. I got this from Green Street. I can't really make out the designer, but if you watch a few of other of my videos, I was saying that I'm on a hunt for these because sometimes in the summer I wear dainty earrings and dainty jewelry, but sometimes when I am going out in the summer, I want something a little more, I want something else. I want something that pops, something that elevates some of my summer pieces. So I decided that I wanted to start collecting some of these wood bangles. I do have another one that I did get from a local store as well. So I thought maybe like when I have on a summer dress, I can just like stack a few different wood bangles. So I think this bangle was like $5. So that's what I got. And then I got this belt. The designer is Die-D, D-I-E-D-E. Leather belt. Love the brass here. I do not have a belt like this animal print belt. So I do think that this will elevate some of my items. So I love that. And that's all I got. That's all I got. Because like I said before, we're not here to buy all the things. We're only here to buy some of the things that are going to elevate our wardrobes. I am a little sad about the pants, but I learned my lesson. I got to try stuff on. You know what I'm saying? I have to try stuff on. I can't, especially if I know I can't return it. So, yeah, so that's all I got. And I really enjoyed the trip. If you are interested in taking a whole day and going over to Lambertville, New Hope, I highly suggest it. I will link some of the stores, but I will also share with you the whole official Lambertville, New Hope vintage guide as well. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't seen this video, I will go ahead and link it here, and I will see you next time.